All right, on this video, we're going to talk about the sidebar, the widgets, and some WordPress plugins. So we're at the front page of the site, and you can see over here, let's move our screen over a little bit, shall we? All right, so you see over here where we have the sidebar, recent posts, archives, categories, meta, data. This is all in the sidebar right now. So we can go over to our dashboard. We can go under Appearance, Widgets. Let's move our screen so you see this a little better. So over here you see the main sidebar. It's got the search. It's got recent posts, recent comments, archives. So you can go through here and you can remove things. You can change things the way you want. If you don't want that search bar over there, you can just drag it over to inactive widgets. Over right under there, you'll see recent posts. We can select how many posts will show up in here. So if you want to leave it over there in the main sidebar, you can. If you want to move it and disable it, you can just take it right on out. Recent comments, I always take that out. Not too big on that. Archives, display as a drop down box. That's what I choose. Save that. And then close. Categories, display as a drop down box. Do that, save it. And the meta, I usually move this meta down to one of the footer areas because it's mostly for you as the administrator. So I usually just move that out of the main real estate area. So now if we go back to the site, let's take a peek at what it looks like. See, we changed a bunch of stuff. Look at that. Drop down boxes. And we'll still have a recent post and such. So then over here in the sidebar, you could put other stuff. Go back to the dashboard. Let's go to widgets again. So over here, you could put like RSS, your RSS feed up at the top there. And then you can enter the RSS feed URL. So you could just type that in. It's usually something like your site's name / feed or something to that effect. You do some digging, you'll find it. And then you can say how many items will appear in it and all that jazz. So you could save that in there, close it. Let's see what else. What I do sometimes is if I have like an image that I've uploaded and then I want it to go to some other part of the site or something. So I have a nice little picture image and then I have some HTML text. I'd format that in a way where the picture would display and my writing would display, or just the picture and the link to where it's going to. And I'd put it over in the sidebar. I'd drop the HTML code in here, save it, close it, and then when I went back to the front, it would show up. This is also good for like text links and stuff like that. You can use that. Tag cloud is just like the name implies. It would just show a list of your tags and such on the sidebar. I see people do that, but I don't really see the value of showing it. I know tagging is important, but showing what my most popular tags are, I don't know what the value is in that per se. But that's just me. There's all kinds of stuff in here. You could have a calendar. You could put the calendar over here. And let's see what it looks like. Let's go back. Oh, there. See, there's the calendar. Oh, that's cute. Or not. So since we didn't fill out the RSS feed, it doesn't have that information in there right there. But there's our entry RSS feed right down here. So we could just click on that, and we could come up here, copy the in the address bar. You could just copy the stuff right there. Right there, you could just copy that and then paste it in that text file that we create, or that RSS file. Go back to the dashboard. Widgets. Move our screen over a little bit. So we can just go in here into the RSS feed URL. Display item date, display item content, display item author. I'm not worried about all that. And then if we go back out to the site, there's my RSS feed right there. So that's that little chiclet. So that's pretty interesting. But as you can see, the widgets are pretty cool. They give you a lot of stuff to work with, I think. For software that's free, I think this is pretty amazing. So you have your main sidebar, your showcase sidebar, footer area 1, 2, and 3. So this could change depending on the theme you're using, or the theme if you purchase a specialty theme, it could offer a little more robust options. But for a basic free installation, I think that's pretty cool. So let's move forward into some of the plugins. And getting into plugins, we will drag the screen over a little bit. So let's go over to, down here to plugins, and we can check installed plugins or add new. But the first thing I want to say about plugins, I am not a huge plugin person. I think a lot of the plugins people think are really, great and grand, but there's a few things you got to remember. That it might not work when you update your site. When your WordPress installation gets updated, some plugins break. So you got to be really conscious of that. And you can't just rely on plugins for every single thing. I think less is better. But the one thing that people really get overconfident with are the backup plugins, and I wouldn't put 2 cents into those. There's a ton of backup plugins for free. So if you went over here to plugins, add new, we could search for backup. Let's just put backup. See what comes up. Look at all these. Just all of these come up, and people think, wow, I'm safe. My site is being backed up. But they're really not that big. A lot of these are just database backups. So that means your posts and stuff like that are saved, but you're going to be reskinning your site if something should happen to it. What I do is I back up the entire site via FTP, which a lot of people won't know how to do or don't want to get into all that. And it is kind of tedious, to be honest. But I have heard people mention a paid service called Backup Buddy. I have not used Backup Buddy. I don't have an affiliate with them. I don't know much about them. All I know is what I've heard, and I've heard that they are spectacular. I think it's a little pricey for somebody that's not too big into making money with their site. So that would have to be up to you if you want to check into that. It would be on its own website, I'm sure. I don't think you would find it through WordPress.org. All right, so Backup Buddy or some form of backing up. You got to do something. Maybe talk to your web host, see if they do any backups or what they suggest. But I try to back mine up frequently, just in case something ever happens. Then you can go back to a nice backup of that. All right. I guess some of these database backups would be better than nothing, but it's almost like nothing for a lot of these. All right, let's move on. So one that comes already on for the plugins. Let's see. If you go under installed, a Kismet. That is an awesome plugin for filtering spam. So it's the best way in the world to protect your blog from comment and track back spam. So it does its own thing, and I'll be honest with you, it really does some great things. To be honest, for a free plugin, it does very well. The only thing I don't like about it is you got to go sign up for their API key and then configure it and save your API key. It's just it's not that hard. It's just a little tedious for something like this, but it's worth it. So if you ever want to get into it, you can get in there under settings, and it's gonna say please enter your API key. So you just gotta go through the steps to get this thing set up, and then once you do that, you can activate it and get it working. But I'm not gonna go through all that right now. It's just a brief overview. All right, let's go back to plugins. Another plugin that you could use, especially if you're podcasting, is going to be a plugin called PowerPress. Let's see if that one comes up. So there it is. Blueberry PowerPress podcasting plugin. So this is a really cool little plugin here for podcasters specifically. So you can go through all here, and it's got its installation, step-by-step installation stuff. So if you're a podcaster and you don't want to create your own RSS feed, there's a simple way to get it through this plugin. So I know a lot of people that do this and they love it. So for me, and it also comes with an audio player, which is amazing because I use the audio player separately, but because I maintain my own feed. But if you wanted to, you could use their audio player right in that application. And they have a nice tutorial on how to set it up. So this is just more of an overview of what plugins to use, or suggestions, I should say. Because ultimately it's your site, so you're going to have to do what's best for you. So if you, most people do their RSS for the podcast through a plugin like that. And I'm a dinosaur. I maintain my own XML file on the web server, which, most people listening to this are probably like, huh? But it's just a simple file that is created where I update my shows. I just do it manually. It takes probably about a minute, 2 minutes for me to update to the next show each week. Just some copy pasting and filling in specified fields. I might actually do a video on that, but I doubt anybody will be interested in that because it's something that is more for the old school podcaster. I've been doing this over 6 years. As of December 2012, it's well over. It's almost 6.5 now. And so I am a relic, a leftover. Most people never touch those kind of files, but I prefer to have it because I am a control freak. So if you do maintain your own RSS feed like I do, then you could get audio player, the 1Pixel player, any of those MP3 players. You can get those. So when you put an MP3 post in a page, it just kind of automatically shows that on the screen as an audio player. It's really cool, really simple too. All right, now to get, sometimes these WordPress installations, they lag a little bit, and you want to try to speed them up. So let's go to add new. Let's search. Now here's the first one that I used to use, but it was a hassle to set up. W3 Total Cache, the most complete WordPress performance framework. And yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you what, it's a great little add-on to speed up your website. But I had a hard time. I installed it the first time, no problem. And then the second time I tried it, for some reason, I don't know what was going on, but I couldn't figure it out. I could not figure it out at all. And I was like, this is not good. It was just too much work. It was like, what? It was like most of an afternoon trying to figure out this and that. And where do I paste this and stuff? Anytime that one of these plugins asks me to paste it somewhere specific, I'm like, oh no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But there is another one, and I'm trying to find it. Let me see. Let's go by popular. Oh, I didn't enter my search term. So I am actually going to go to the plugin site. You'll just bear with me here. Kismet is almost ready. It just needs that API. I'm like, oh, calm down. All right, there we go. We're to the WordPress.org site. So let's just put in cache. See what comes up. Can't remember the exact name. I think this is it. It's either QuickCash or WP Super Cache. I think it's QuickCache. It's one of these that's really simple. I think it's this, speed without compromise. Yeah. Let's look at some screenshots, and that should be able to tell us a little something. Yeah, I think it's this one because it's just so much easier to set up. You know, a lot of the things you can just follow their instructions, and yeah, this is the one, QuickCache. It's just more straightforward. You know, I hate to be a big baby about setting up these plugins, but I just want something that's simple. I think most people do. You know, if somebody else was installing it, hey, sky's the limit. But if I have to do it, guess what? I want something that's going to be pretty straightforward for me to do. So a caching program or plugin would be excellent. Another one that I like, and let's see if I can find it. All right, I think that's it. This plugin is amazing. It's called Sociable. And I absolutely love this this item. Yeah, it's got over 1.8 million downloads, so I'm pretty sure people like it. But it just adds all these little widgets underneath your post, and like you can add it to any page or post or not. It doesn't have to be on every single thing. But you got to give your audience a way to share it with their friends. So if they want to Gmail that sucker, if they want to Facebook it, Twitter it, all this stuff on here, it is awesome. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't go without something along these lines. You can, I'm sure there's plenty of other ones that do this exact same thing, but definitely have some way for your audience to share it. All right, let's check out another one. I just have a couple more that I think are must-haves. So the next one would be, let's see, WordPress Touch. I think it's just all one word. There we go. WP Touch. And what this is going to do, it transforms your WordPress website for mobile devices. Now, I am going to tell you, I had one problem with this plugin. It hasn't happened in a long time, but there was one time where it viewed my laptop as a mobile device, which is kind of a mobile device, but not a mobile device, not a phone. And I was on my laptop, and it's displaying like it's a cell phone, and really annoying. That super duper annoyed me. I was on a Windows machine, so maybe that was part of the problem. I don't know. But this will format your page to look like this, like the cell phone, like it's just built for a cell phone app. It's really cool. And all those are iPhone pictures, so that kind of tells you where they're leaning. But I really love it. But just, test it on your other devices, because you don't want desktop and laptop users to go to your site and be confronted with a strange mobile-looking interface. But cell phone users, they'll love you for it because it's just better navigation. So that is what and then the last thing I want to talk about is contact forms. Having a way for people to email you. I handle mine a little differently because I don't like the forms. There are a ton of these things on here. Some of them with some really nice 4-star, over 4-star ratings. But I have not found a free contact form that has worked consistently. And the last thing I ever want is for people to say, well, I emailed you and then you never responded. And it's because my form, I don't know, malfunctioned and sent the message somewhere where I can't find it. So it's extremely frustrating on that end. But, there's got to be one in here that's more improved, I hope. So you could try some of these, or you could just create an old school text link or something along those lines, or have a page that says, here's how you contact me. That's what I usually do. So I have a page set up, and it's up in the menu bar, so they can just click on there, and then it's written out for them. And instead of using the @ symbol, I might use just AT so robots don't pick up that email address and add it to their spam sending list. But those are the plugins and widgets. Just a brief overview of what I've been doing for all of these videos is just trying to, steer people in a direction that is a little more focused than when I started. Because when I started, there weren't any resources out there, not really. Not anything clear, or they would talk about one thing and not another. And so that's why I've been trying to take this step by step by step. So if you're a blogger, I think this video is pretty much at the end of the road for you. The rest of the things you're just going to have to do with the tagging, post and things of that nature, you're going to have to make sure that you utilize the tag fields when you're posting stuff and trying to build up that metadata and all that. And give people a way to share your stuff. So over here, you could add tags. You could say, that's a podcast, comma. It's a comedy, and you could do long tail keywords and such. And then you see they add in right there. And they add to this post. And it really helps you out. There's other more advanced plugins out there for tagging. But you just got to be careful with getting carried away with that stuff, because Google will smack you down if you get too crazy with some of the stuff. You have a page load of tags that are irrelevant, you'll get slapped down eventually. But if you're a blogger, I think this is pretty much the end of the road. You're going to have to leave the nest and continue to work on stuff and kind of figure out things as you go. But if you are here because you're creating a podcast or you want to create digital products and you want to sell them, then I'm going to do a couple more videos detailing how to record a podcast, edit it, get it ready, and all that jazz. And then a digital products video as well. So if you're leaving me, then I hope you'll subscribe to my email list. I do not spam. I only send out important stuff, and I don't send out stuff all the time. I hate when a company gets my email address and they send me stuff constantly. I don't want to hear from them very often. I'm the type of person that just needs a reminder every so often that you still exist. And that's the kind of stuff I'll send out. Just, hey, I made a free video about this, or maybe I made a paid product, but I'm not going to just keep hitting you every day to where, oh my goodness, to where you want to go strangle me and unsubscribe. So join my email list. You can do that at podcastdirector.com. You'll see them on the menu bar and the sidebar. You can just click there and join that. And I offer free stuff all the time, free like training, free audio files. And then sometimes I will mention something I've done that's paid. So I try to strike a balance between free and paid. All right. I thank you for tuning into this video, and I hope it helped.